I would like to call the Monday, January 12th, 2025, Common Council meeting to order. Clerk Toronto, I believe you'd like to make some comments regarding the link for this meeting and other expectations.
Good evening, members of the public. For audio quality, we will be muting everyone not speaking by default to maintain good audio quality for council members and yourselves. If you would like to speak during the meeting on a certain agenda item or during privilege of the floor, please submit your request in the chat. Directions to do so have been listed. Thank you.
All right, to keep decorum, disrespectful, rude, or disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech or actions, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in the individual without notice forfeiting the remainder of his or her allotted time. At this time, we will have the invocation. Would you please stand and bow your heads with me? Let us pray. Eternal God, we thank you for the gift of a new year and the sacred trust of public service. We lift up the city of South Bend, its people, its neighborhoods, and its future. Grant this council wisdom to lead with integrity, courage to do what is right, and humility to remember that leadership is about service. Teach us to disagree without division, to debate without dishonor, and to govern with compassion for the common good. Help us to forge a clean path forward, forgetting those things behind and reaching for those things which are ahead. In this chamber, let justice guide our decisions, unity shape our work, and hope define our vision. As we begin this year, may we choose what is right over what is easy and what is just over what is popular. Bless our work today and the days to come. And may what we decide here bring peace, progress, and opportunity to all whom we serve. Amen. And now we repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Clerk Toronto, could you please give us the first roll call of 2026?
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Present.
Councilmember McBride,
Present.
Councilmember Warner,
Present.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Present.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Present.
Councilmember White,
Present.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Present.
Vice President Niskoski,
Present.
President Lee,
Present.
9 members present.
All right, we will now have a report from the Subcommittee on Minutes for December 8th, 2025 and January 5th, 2026 organizational meetings.
To the Common Council of the City of South Bend, the subcommittee has inspected the minutes of the December 8th, 2025 and the January 5th, 2026 meetings of the council and found them to be correct. Therefore, we recommend the same be approved.
I will now entertain a motion.
Move to accept the minutes of December 8th and January 5th.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. All right, special night tonight, special business. We have the swearing in of our 2026 Youth Council. Give yourselves a hand, everybody. Ms. White, you have done an outstanding job of reaching out to high school students in our community and getting them and their parents here tonight. We're so grateful and so honored. And so at this time, I will now put it in the hands of Ms. White and our clerk.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us on this meaningful occasion. We gather to welcome a new group of student leaders into the 2026 Youth Advisory Council. Today is more than a ceremony. It's a celebration of commitment, curiosity, and the belief that students deserve a real voice in shaping the future of our schools and our communities and our country. They represent the best of what student leadership can be: thoughtful, engaged, and ready to collaborate. Their perspectives matter, their ideals matter, and their leadership will help guide decisions that will affect thousands of their peers. As we prepare to administer the oath, I want to acknowledge the families, the teachers, the mentors, counselors, and friends who encourage these students to pursue opportunities like this one. Your support makes moments like this evening possible. So I ask the council and others to put your hands together and let's thank the families. Let's thank the counselors, the principals. We have two principals with us. We appreciate you so, so much. And you can rest assured that your students are in good hands. As we look forward, we could not do this work without you and without your support. In a moment, we will begin the swearing in, but first, let me simply say congratulations to all of our students. Let's give them a round of applause. We are so proud of you. We believe in you, and we look forward to the impact you would make in the years to come. Congratulations again. Now, the clerk will administer you the oath. Are you excited? Oh, I see some hands, okay. Parents, are you excited? Oh, okay then.
At this time, I'm going to have our youth council please come to the front. All right, such an exciting time. I'm Clerk Torado, and I will be swearing you in. So, a few instructions. After I say I, each of you are going to state your full name, and then you're going to repeat after me, okay? So, please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Indiana, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of a member of the Youth Advisory Council. So help me God. Congratulations.
Try to do this quick. We could use a few more people in the front row, I think. All right, here we go. Four, one, two, and yes.
Mr. Henderson, you gonna share the pictures with Mr. Von Guy?
Follow Ronnie. I'm gonna give you your. I will see you soon.
Thank you all. You don't have to stay. We know you have exams and all of that good stuff. But thank you, and we ask that if you're going to leave, let's please convene outside. We got to get back to our council meeting. Thank you. Thank you so much. Clerk Toronto, do we have to do any kind of accepting these as a? We don't have to vote on this, do we? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you all. We look forward to Ms. White working you very hard. Please study your packets she gave you. There will be a test. All right. I will now entertain a motion to resolve to the committee of the whole.
Second.
There's been a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Committee of the whole is going to adjourn and delay for 2 minutes. Thanks.
Oh, that's true.
I haven't even gone up yet, but even gone up the elevators here.
Okay. Thank you.
We have 2 elevators. Hard when it's.
He's on the ball. Okay, the committee of the whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council's meetings where bills are given a second reading and a public hearing before a committee made up of all 9 council members. All bills set for this evening's second reading and public hearing have previously been given a first reading and a committee hearing prior to this evening's meeting. In addition, we will hear from the chairperson of the standing committee where the bill was discussed and the results of that discussion. If the proposed ordinance is a zoning ordinance, a report from staff member will be given. In all other situations, the formal presentation on the proposed ordinance will immediately follow the committee report. The formal presentation shall be untimed. Clerk Torado, can you please give Bill 78 25, a second reading. Thank you.
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 14, Article 15, Section 14-175 to increase the amount of South Bend police officer time included as an absorbed expense for a special event.
Thank you. Do we have a committee report?
And comes to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Now we'll go to our presenter. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Council. Michael Schmidt, Assistant City Attorney with offices up on the 6th floor of City Hall here. Thank you for the opportunity to come and be here with you all tonight. What we've got here is a proposed change to Chapter 14, Article 15, Section 14-175 to increase the amount of the South Bend police officer time, the current special event ordinance. Right now, the in-kind time allocated by the police department is 40 hours. The request is to increase that to 48 hours. The practical impact of that is that it permits about 2 additional officers for 4 hours of time, a maximum of 4 hours of time, to be available to all special events. Sure. Do I need to start over? Thank you. Lost my train of thought there. The practical, again, going back to the practical effect, it's going to allow 2 officers in kind for all special events. The additional cost to the city is about $77.15 for a patrolman, so overtime pay. So multiply that by the increase of potentially 8 hours, it comes out to about $617.20 of additional in-kind services that the police department is doing. As costs have gone up, for just about everything over the last couple of years, this is an opportunity where the police department got together and said, we want to try to do more to help, especially some of our smaller events that really have to make a decision as to whether or not they can continue on with the event. And so by offering this little gesture here, the police department thinks that they can help continue to support the special events and vibrant activities going on in the city. The types of events that you're generally thinking about are parades, races, girls on the run, sunbursts, these different sort of nonprofits that are having these events. This is not applicable for block parties or what the legislation refers to as Tier 1 events. That's really about it. It's a simple change. It's the only part of the legislation is just to go from 40 to 48 hours. I'm open to any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Council members, any preliminary questions from any council members? Thank you. Seeing none, we'll go to the public at this time. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak on Bill 7825? Anyone in person or online at this time wishing to speak either or in favor or against? Anyone in the room? Anyone online? Okay.
I do not see any members of the public wishing to speak in favor. Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition, in person or online?
Thank you. With that, we'll close the public hearing. We'll bring it back to committee. I know this afternoon there was maybe some confusion that we were adding some fees. These are not new fees. And actually what we're doing is the police department is absorbing more hours that they would usually charge those events for. Races, I know it also includes some of the art festivals that are held at Leaper Park and Potawatomi Park, and events where security is needed and necessary. Was also some comments about him restraining and impeding on free speech. This does not include protests or events like that. These are long planned, because there is a permitting process that you have to go through that takes a few weeks, if not a month to do, and are not types of protests and events, prayer vigils and things like that.
Yes, sir. There's a separate process for demonstrations that there aren't fees attributed to those. That this is sort of outside of that realm and not impact. And further, that these fees are again content neutral. That's not to generate revenue. It's simply when they're, even though this is outside of the change that's in front of council, just to address some of your comments and with the comments that we heard earlier. That again, this is those fees are for larger events. Those fees then are reimbursable at cost. That's basically the hourly rate. Those are content neutral. It's non-discriminatory. They're applied equally to every event that's in the city. There's no concerns from the city legal department that anything in this particular change or of the special event committee ordinance as a whole is in that doesn't pass constitutional muster.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Council members, any other questions?
Just,
Comments?
yes,
Dr.
just-
Davis.
my legal attorney, you saw the emails this afternoon that was sent to the council?
I did.
What's your thoughts and opinions on that?
I don't believe that there's any constitutional problem with this. It does not apply to any kind of free speech issue. I see no problem with it at all. I agree with everything he has said.
Okay. So the concerns that you saw were not valid when it comes down to free speech?
No.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Dr. Davis, I did provide a
Yes.
letter for you.
I just wanted to get his thing. I appreciate you doing that.
Anyone else? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Second.
Hold on. I would make sure my mic wasn't on. I would like to make a motion that 7825 will go before the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion by President Lee and a second by Councilmember White for a favorable recommendation for 7825. Clerk Toronto, can you please do a roll call on that favorable motion?
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have 9 ayes.
Thank you. The bill will go forward to the full council shortly with a favorable recommendation. At this time, Clerk Toronto, can you please give Bill 8525 a second reading? Or 8025, I'm sorry, we'll get there. Thank you. A second reading.
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 21 of the South Bend Municipal Code to make miscellaneous changes for clarification and consistency, to simplify development process, and to achieve higher quality development.
Thank you very much. Is there a committee report?
Can you please accept the substitute?
We'll get there. Thank you.
Sorry.
And is there a committee report?
Yes, the zoning and annexation met this afternoon, and we bring this bill to you with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. So this time I would entertain a motion to accept the third substitute.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to accept the third substitute and a second. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The third substitute is accepted. Good evening and welcome. Would you present to us the bill as amended by the third substitute?
Good evening, Michael DeVita, Assistant Director of Planning for the city with offices on the 5th floor of this building. So we put our new zoning ordinance into effect in 2020. Very pleased with the results. A lot of positive feedback from developers and community members as we've worked with it. So first, just wanted to cover very quickly kind of some of the outcomes and why this is important. So the ordinance actually won an award for the kind of best new zoning ordinance in the nation at the time it was adopted. So we've seen in the city further housing development. So in the year just completed in 2025, the city saw 183 permits issued for new detached houses, and that total would include duplexes and townhouses as well. Doing a little bit more research on it, but it looked like that may be the largest number that South Bend has seen since 1999. But it can't be all about detached houses. You see where about 65 years ago that about 44% of households were nuclear families, so 56% were not. But it's evolved to where household sizes, especially, are smaller. You see a lot of single family or a single person households now, to where nuclear families only make up 18% of the population. So with that, there's some demand for different housing types. So things like accessory dwelling units, there's a lag here, that we've seen developed that didn't see much of before. Also things like duplexes that we hadn't seen a lot of development of those, but we've seen that in the last several years in the city, from luxury down to affordable. And not all these things are the zoning ordinance, but that we can give credit to it alone. But I think it's a key factor not to be a barrier and to support the strength of the community. So have multi-unit buildings as well. I did a quick tally the other day. So somewhere in the development process between concept and almost done with construction, the city has 18 major multifamily projects in that development pipeline. Again, a total where it's been a long time since the city has seen it. And a critical thing is that it's infill and rehab that the ordinance has helped bring about with its provisions to ease the reuse of buildings, make it easier to fill in on existing lots that maybe the past ordinances would say were too small. So for instance, on that detached house total that I started out with, 92%, I think, of those homes were infill projects, not greenfield. 100% of those projects were on lots that were already within the city limits 20 years ago. So kind of very good for the taxpayer of using our infrastructure, existing infrastructure, more efficiently that way. At the same time, kind of healing our neighborhoods, which helps bring opportunity for more businesses within our neighborhoods. With that said, though, the world changes, development trends change, and it's been a few years since we've updated the zoning ordinance, so I think the time is ripe for that. So we're bringing you the first set of changes here today. So they really focus on these 4 categories: the ease of development, and flexibility to help support housing, kind of like we saw earlier in the presentation here. Provide some options and lower cost options to provide quality development. To reduce unnecessary variances, so places where staff is favorable, there's no objection to neighbors, the Board of Zoning Appeals tends to approve these, and it happens kind of over and over, kind of common sense ones, to just legalize that so you don't have to go through that lengthy and sometimes costly process. To modernize the ordinance, again, to keep up with development trends. And finally, to kind of clean up the ordinance. So make sure the zoning ordinance is aligned with other city ordinances, rules. Also where the language may not have been clear as we've gotten to it, or people interpret it different ways from the outside to help clear up some of that ambiguity. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark, who'll go into at least briefly some more of the details on what's in the ordinance before you.
Yes. Excuse me. Hello, council members. Mark Delastrito, zoning specialist with the city of South Bend, with offices on the 5th floor of this building. For those of you who were there during the committee meeting earlier today, obviously we went a lot more in depth on a lot of these items. We thought maybe we'd provide a few examples, maybe not, felt we didn't necessarily need to go into all of those examples, but still wanted to provide a few to start off within each of those categories. So to start with, providing more flexibility when it comes to development and trying to make that process a little easier. One thing that we think will help is that we've completely overhauled our trash enclosure section of the code. So for the structures that you have to build around your dumpster for a larger building, we thought it was a bit restrictive. And so we've kind of rewritten the section and also relaxed some of the rules for instances where maybe the dumpster is not visible from the street and it's in an alley. That's something we heard from developers can be a bit costly in instances where it frankly doesn't always have to be. Mike mentioned the idea of trying to eliminate unnecessary variances. Something that the Board of Zoning Appeals has granted a number of variances for in the past is taller fences around schools and daycares for children for when they're playing outside to kind of improve the safety of that. And so we are proposing to increase the allowable height of fences around those uses with the approval of the zoning administrator. So even though it will be a taller fence, and so zoning staff will just, kind of take it on a bit of a case-by-case basis, but so it'll still be a bit of a check there. In terms of modernizing the code, one thing that we're doing is exempting electric vehicle charging stations from some of our rules around accessory structures. And so we think that'll just make it easier to build these types of structures and incentivize, the purchase of electronic vehicles. And then finally, in terms of cleaning up the code, like Mike said, some of it is just literally just fixing typos, but there's also trying to align some parts of the zoning code with other parts of city code. And so one example is the forestry department is decreasing the minimum size that a street tree has to be when you first plant it. And we also speak on street trees in the zoning part of the code. And so we are also reducing that size to align with their rules. So those are a few examples kind of from each one of those categories. We also wanted to touch on what we think are some of the biggest changes within this ordinance. And those revolve around special exceptions. So to start with gas stations, those are currently allowed in our commercial and industrial districts by right, meaning that someone came to us with a gas station tomorrow in one of these districts and it was zoning compliant, we would have to permit it. But our proposal is to make it so that in those districts, you would need a special exception to pursue a gas station use, and that's currently the case in our neighborhood center and downtown districts. So bottom line, if someone wanted to do a new gas station in the city, it would have to get Common Council approval to go forward because Common Council approves special exceptions in the end. And the reasons for this, first, we wanted to provide a bit more of a public review of these types of projects and give council a little more control over where they are. Also, in terms of thinking of reuse of these gas stations, for when they potentially go out of business, they can be really hard sites to reuse because of how they have to be laid out. So kind of from more of a planning standpoint, there's a consideration there. And also due to the emissions that can come from these uses, want to provide a bit more time for review of some environmental impacts that may result from that. And similarly, we are also proposing for the uses of beer, wine, and liquor sales and tobacco, hookah, and vaping uses, essentially looking to do the same thing. So those uses are currently allowed in the downtown, commercial, and industrial districts by right. But our proposal is to make them allowable via a special exception. So again, if someone wanted to pursue one of these uses in one of those zoning districts, or actually anywhere in the city, they would need to get a special exception, go through the Board of Zoning Appeals, and get approval from Common Council. And again, the reasons for that were very, a lot of them were very similar to that of the gas station. So those, I believe, are the major things that we wanted to call out. Wanted to know, as was said before, this does have a favorable recommendation from the Zoning Annexation Committee as well as from the Plan Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council members, any preliminary questions? Council members regarding the zoning amendments?
Again,
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Thank you. You answered my questions in committee, so I appreciate that. But one did come to mind. I just wanted clarification. Which substitute did area plan here?
The Plan Commission saw the second substitute, so by law, the versions have to match. So should the Common Council approve a version, then the ordinance will return to them to essentially to ratify.
Okay, thank you.
You, Dr. Davis.
yes, thank you. Could you explain again the rationale for doing this right now and your thoughts about coming every 6 months in future situations?
Yes, we like to keep coming with regular zoning updates. So hopefully it doesn't get this long, but again, to keep the ordinance relevant. We plan to do this on a regular schedule, perhaps every 6 to 12 months that you see a zoning ordinance update. Probably at least the next few, again, would be more kind of topical. So focus on a particular subject within the ordinance.
And you said your second part you were still working on?
Yep, we're working on language around a couple of different ordinances to, one is on signs and the other is other parts of city code that make references to the zoning ordinance to make sure those cross references are updated properly.
I appreciate that.
President Lee.
I said it in committee and I'll say it tonight for the record. Thank you for these changes to the gas stations, because we've seen a lot of gas stations pop up that we didn't have an opportunity to have any oversight of. So thank you that now that these will come before us and we can vote them up and vote them down. So thank you for that. And also the changes to the ordinance where car repair places, instead of 30 days of having a car sitting out in front of a building, they have 14 days to move that. Thank you very much. That I think if that is enforced, that will help keep our neighborhoods looking better, and people with these vehicles will have to do something with them sooner. So thank you very much.
There council members with questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll open up the public hearing. Are there any members of the public, either in person or online, that would like to speak either in favor or against the proposed zoning amendments?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor of the bill at this time.
Okay.
I also don't see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Thank you. This time we will close the public hearing portion, bring it back to council members. Any other comments? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion that third substitute bill 8025 go to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion for a favorable recommendation by Councilmember Lee and a second by Councilmember McBride. All those in, a roll call vote. I sit on a board and we do votes that way, so I get in a habit. Clerk Dorado, can you please do a roll call vote for us? Thank you.
Councilmember White. Aye. Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you very much. Bill 8025 will now go to third reading as amended by the third substitute with a favorable recommendation. At this time, I would entertain a motion to rise from the committee of the whole and report back.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee of the whole is now adjourned.
The full council is now back in session. This is a portion of our meeting where bills are given a third reading and action is taken regarding bills that were heard in the committee of the whole. Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 7825 a third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 14, Article 15, Section 14-175 to increase the amount of South Bend police officer time included as an absorbed expense for a special event.
Counselor Warner, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole?
Committee of the whole sends the bill with a favorable recommendation.
I will now entertain a motion.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, could you please call the roll?
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
7825 is passed. Clerk Toronto, would you give third substitute 8025 third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 21 of the South Bend Municipal Code to make miscellaneous changes for clarification and consistency, to simplify development process, and to achieve higher quality development.
All right, Counselor Warner, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole?
Committee of the whole sends 8025 forward with a favorable recommendation as amended by the third substitute.
I will now entertain a motion.
I move for passage.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right, third substitute 8025 has now passed. All right, resolutions, 2547 was requested by the petitioner that it be tabled indefinitely. I will now entertain a motion. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? It has been tabled. All right. Bills on first reading. Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 0126 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, repealing, superseding, and replacing Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2-10.1 by establishing the powers and duties of the Common Council Rules Committee and eliminating the process and procedures for filing complaints against council members.
All right. I would now entertain a motion to send Bill 0126 to the Rules Committee for public hearing and third reading on January 26th.
I'd like to make a motion that we send this bill back to the sponsors for clarification and for further study and bring it back to us in 2 weeks.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride. Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Nay.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Nay.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Aye. Vice President Niskoski.
Nay.
President Lee.
Nay.
I have 5 ayes and 4 nays.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion will be sent back and what was the motion? Brought back
I-
in 2 weeks. All right. All right. Unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? All right. Any new business?
Yes.
Council Vice President?
Thank you, President Lee. The Rum Village has been working on the master plan for parks, specifically for Walker Field and Rum Village Park. And we've been doing the Rum Village Park one. We've engaged a lot of the stakeholders on the first part, and we're getting ready to present and open up for public input on that. Should be looking for that date around January 29th. The place has not been determined yet, so that could change, but it's an exciting time for people to come out and have their voice see on how they want to see their parks look. So I'll release some information once it gets closer to that time, and I have a confirmed place for that.
Any other new business?
Yes, we are continuing with the Lafayette Square Falls. Thank you, Lafayette Square. Lord have mercy. There's two Lafayettes in here. Lafayette Falls, and that's coming up on the 20th.
22nd.
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 And could you give some?
January 22nd at Marshall. That's when we usually have our meetings to continue our discussions about the challenges of the development in that area. And at this time, the attorney for the developer will be there. And we encourage people to come out and work these things out. Marshall Traditional on Byron Street, 6:30.
And we're really excited about the attorney confirming that he'll be there so we can really get down to the issues of everything. So please come.
All right. Anyone else? We really want to take a moment and think about our city and pray for our city. There've been some violence that has happened over the weekend. And I know that in our first district, we're going to be working on ways to engage the residents, to talk about ways to ways that we can help our residents in this time of tragedy. And so I would love to have other council members help participate in really thinking about ways to address problem properties and also ways that we can help make our city safe. So thank you. At this time, we're getting ready to go to the privilege of the floor. Disrespectful, rude, or disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech or actions, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in the individual without notice forfeiting the remainder of his or her allotted time. Individuals who wish to address the council must state their name and residential address. Individuals will be limited to 3 minutes only. The maximum time limit for this portion of the meeting shall be 30 minutes. Individuals shall not be permitted to address topics which the council has heard previously on the agenda. The council president may assign a topic raised by an individual during the privilege of the floor to the appropriate council member and/or request the city clerk to contact a member of the city administration for review, and topics assigned shall be responded to at the next scheduled council meeting. All right, privilege of the floor is open. Clerk Dorado, is there anyone that would like to speak at the privilege of the floor?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online at this time wishing to speak under privilege of the floor.
All right, thank you very much. As we close this first meeting of 2026, let us remember that while we may come from different districts, perspectives, and experiences, we are united by one responsibility, and that's to serve the people of South Bend. Unity does not mean uniformity. It means choosing respect over division, collaboration over conflict, and progress over paralysis. It means understanding that the strength of this council is not found in agreement on every issue, but in our shared commitment to move the city forward together. The work before us this year will not always be easy, but it will always be important. If we listen with intention, lead with integrity, and act with courage, the decisions made in this chamber can bring real hope to our neighborhoods and real opportunity to our residents. Let this year be marked not by who was right, but by what was done, not by who was the loudest, but by who served best. Together, let's make 2026 a year of unity, progress, and purpose for the city of South Bend. I also want to thank former Vice President Rachel Thomas Morgan for serving